students. Are you all fine and happy? Yes. And you are looking very much excited today for my session. So here I welcome you all to Nagesh Karajki Orchid School, Solapur for the online sessions. I am Tulsi Chittari and today I will be teaching you 6th standard history subject, first lesson. So shall we move on? Come on. Children, you can see the images, right? Now can you tell me what is this first image about? Yes, you are right. It is the image of a modern person, right? And what is the another image about? Just think. I think you can say the answer. Yes, it is the image of the early humans. Early humans, see there 4 pictures are there, okay? There are 4 stages of these early humans. Okay, now you just tell me why I have shown you these pictures. Can you tell me some relation between these 2 pictures? Come on, just think children, you can do this. Yes, correct. This is a picture of a modern human person, okay? So this person, earlier actually we were same like these human beings which you can see in the another slide. So our ancestors, they all belong to this early humans age, okay? And there it is given the 4 stages of early human, and we as a person now today actually we belong to the Homo sapiens family, okay? So that is also known as modern man or wise man. Now as you know that modern humans have been originally emerged in Africa many thousand years ago. But from where do we find the first signs of this human life? In the subcontinent region? What were the living conditions? Which types of crops they have grown or they have cultivated? When did the first cities and the states emerge? So children, we are going to learn all the questions and their answers in our first lesson, what, where, how and when. So this lesson has these different topics. We are going to cover these topics. First one is purpose of studying history. Second topic will be skilled gatherers. Third topic will be development of agriculture. Then first cities that emerged. Then next one will be different sources of finding the past. And last will be the importance of dates. And what our students will be able to learn from this subject. Means I want to say what will be the learning objectives of this lesson. So first one, we will come to know why we have to study the history. What is the main idea? What is the main purpose behind studying the history? Okay. Then again you will come to know about the skilled gatherers. Who are these gatherers actually? Why we call them as gatherers? Third one, how the agriculture took development. How development of actually agriculture came into existence. Again our students will be able to find out the first cities that emerged, okay? And we will also come to know about the different sources of finding the past. Means what are the different sources from which we have collected the data, or from what are the different sources from which we have collected the different information. And last and very important thing is what is the importance of dates. Means our children, you will be able to understand why dates are so much important in the field of history. So our first topic will be the purpose of studying history. What is the purpose of studying history? So as you know, what do you mean by the term history? Can any one of you tell? History. See, the name itself indicates his story. Means history is nothing but it is the story of the past. It is a story of someone. Okay, it may be a kings, rulers, or it may be a story of any animals or anything, any objects, whatever. So history, it tells us the story of the past. This word, it is derived from the ancient Greek word historia, which means inquiry. Okay. This history, it helps us to know about the different eating habits of the early people. It also helps us to know the kinds of clothes they wear, the types of houses they live. It tells us about the lives of hunters, gatherers, herders, farmers, rulers, scientists, musicians and many more. So now children, we will learn about the activities or the occupations or the work that are actually these early humans used to do during that time. Okay. So can you see this map? Okay. So in this map, can you see river Narmada there? River Narmada. So just see children, there is a Narmada river on the map. So first of all, the people of ancient history, they lived along the banks of river Narmada for 100 and 1000 years ago. Some of them were very skilled gatherers. They had a good information, good idea about collecting the products from the forest, like collecting the roots, collecting the fruits and many more things. So they were called as skilled gatherers. Also they started hunting animals and they had a vast wealth of plants in the surrounding areas or in the surrounding forests. Okay, now you have just seen about the skilled gatherers. Now we will come to our topic, is how agriculture developed. How these people, these early men, how they came to have, how they got the idea of developing agriculture. So let's see, here I have shown you the map. Okay. So on map there is a place called Sulemania and Kirtar, right? Can you see? Yes. So people in Suleiman and Kirtar were the first areas where men and women first cultivated wheat and barley. Understood children? So just remember these two names, where wheat and barley was cultivated. It was in Suleiman and Kirtar. Then they also started rearing the animals like goat, sheep, cattle, and they started living in villages. Okay. So this was what I taught you about Suleiman and Kirtar. Now we will go to Vindhyas. Okay. Just see in the map Vindhya river. Okay. So this Vindhya is located in central India in the Garo hills. It is the first place where the rice was first cultivated. So can you tell me the answer now? Where was the rice first cultivated? Yes, it is Vindhyas. And where was the first wheat and barley cultivated? Correct, it is Suleiman and Kirtar. About 4700 years ago, some earlier cities like Harappa and Mohenjo-Daro. I hope you all must be very famous with these two names, right? We have seen the movie of Hrithik Roshan. Which movie was that? Correct. Mohenjo-Daro, right. So in that you have seen the architectural designs of the buildings, how they ate, what they did. So these cities, they flourished too much like anything on the bank of Indus river. Understood? So about 2700 years on the bank of Indus river, these 2-3 cities like Harappa, Mohenjo-Daro, they flourished like anything on this bank of Indus river. And again 2500 years ago, some cities developed on the banks of Ganga and its tributaries. See, there you can find Ganga river and its tributaries. So this on this river, on the banks of these rivers, many cities also emerged. One of the most important city situated on this river was Magad. Okay, Magad was very important city. Its rulers were so powerful that they set up a large kingdom. Now, after this agriculture, slowly people traveled. They started traveling. They started migrating in search of food along deserts, rivers, seas, hills and many more, forests, even also forest. Also sometimes to escape from natural calamities, they conquered many new areas. They started preaching religious ideas. Also, many religious teachers walked from place to place to offer various instructions, advices to the people. Like for example, you must have heard Xuanzang. Children, have you heard the name Xuanzang? Yes. Xuanzang, he came from China to India. Okay. Xuanzang, he came from China to India in 630 AD to learn Buddhism, and he spread the teachings of Buddha. Again, one more example is Alexander the Great. I hope you all are famous with this name. Okay, Alexander the Great, he also invaded India. Now children, can you tell me how come our country's name is India or Bharat? We call our country by Bharat also, right? And by India also. So how our country got this name? Do you have any ideas? Come on, if you have any ideas, just tell me. Yes, India, it is a word that comes from the Indus River Valley, okay, which is also called as Sindhu, river Sindhu in Sanskrit language. So, at that time, many Iranians or Greeks, they came to India over 2500 years ago, and they were familiar with this Indus River. So, they used to call it as Hindus or Indos. So, from that time onwards, the name of our country, people started calling as India. And again, Bharat. Bharat, at that time, it was used for group of people. They used to live near the northwest in subcontinent. Okay. So, now you got how our country got the names as India and Bharat. First of all, it comes from the word Sindhu, river Sindhu, that is in Sanskrit. And again, many Iranians and Greeks who came to India during 2500 years ago, they were familiar with the word Indus. So, they used to call it as Hindus or Indos. And again, Bharat, it is used for the group of people living northwest in the subcontinents of the region. So, hope now you all understood how our country got the name as India and Bharat. Children, now I think many of you must be having some thoughts in your mind, right? From where we get such information, how we are able to read, from where we are getting all these things. So, to find the past, actually there are three sources of finding the past, right? So, one of the main sources is manuscript. Second one is inscription, and third one is archaeological sites. So, these are the three sources of finding the past. Okay. So, we will go one by one in detail. Now, children, I will tell you of something more about this manuscript. Manuscript means it is a Latin word, okay. It is a Latin word manu, which means hand, okay. Hand. They used to call hand as a manu. So, we got this name as manuscript, and mostly these were written on the palm leaf. Hope you all know the palm leaf, okay. Can you see that picture? That is a picture of manuscript, okay. At that times books, pens were not available. So, the people, they used to write on the palm leaf or the bark of a tree, which was called as birch. Understood? So, what is that bark of the tree is called? Yes, it is called as birch. And what is manuscript? It is nothing but something written on a palm leaf or on a bark of a tree called birch. But due to some reasons, these manuscripts, they started getting destroyed, maybe due to natural calamities, or maybe sometimes the insects must have eaten it up. So, there were many reasons for which these manuscripts got destroyed, but still some are there which are still now preserved in temples and monasteries. Even in pictures, even in Ramayana and Mahabharata, you must have seen the kings, they used to pass the messages in the early days by using these manuscripts. Okay. So, what is the importance of this book? This book, it deals with all kinds of subjects like religious beliefs, like medicines, like lives of the kings, epics, poems, and many more things. And one of the main important factor is these manuscripts, they were written in the language of Sanskrit or Prakrit. So, hope you all understood now what is manuscript, right. Now, we will go to next source, that is inscription. So, inscription means writing something on a hard surface. Now, as manuscript, it was written on the palm leaf, right. But here inscription, it is something that is written on a hard surface. That surface may be a stone, it may be a metal, or it may be a walls or pillars. Okay. kings could go at olden days, in the olden days, what kings used to do? They used to get their orders inscribed in such stones or metals, so that all the people could read that and could obey whatever is written on the inscription. And one more thing, kings often kept these records of victories in their battles. Understood now what is inscription? I think you must be remembering Ashoka, right? Ruler Ashoka. Even now his pillars are, even if now we go to Sanath, we will be able to read the inscriptions, his teachings, they are written on the pillars. Okay. Now we have done with manuscript, we have done with inscription. Now we are going to see the third source, that is the archaeological source. So the name archaeological source means the sources that we find from monuments, buildings, temples, fossils, sculptures, etc. are some of the archaeological sources. And the person, okay, the person who studies these objects, he is called an archaeologist. Okay, who is archaeologist, children? Yes, the person who studies these objects, he is called an archaeologist. He studies all the excavated materials used for the reconstruction of history. They also study the remains of buildings. You can see some olden days buildings are still visible in our areas, in the villages or in some cities. Okay, there are stones. They study the remains of buildings, they study the stones, they study the bricks, they study the paintings. Even sometimes they excavate or they dig the surface of the earth to find the tools, weapons, pans, ornaments and coins, etc. They also find the sources from the dead bodies of human beings, birds, animals. Okay. So these are the pictures. These are some archaeological sources. Okay, these pictures are related to some archaeological sources. So they study, they also look for the bones of animals, birds, and find out what the people used to eat in the past. And one more thing, who are historians then? Now just I told you who are archaeologists. Archaeologists means the people who study this object. But historians are the scholars. Okay, they are the scholars who study the past by using all this information provided by the archaeologists. Now you understood the difference between historians and archaeologists? Yes, historians are the scholars, okay, who study the past by using these three sources, that is archaeological sources, manuscripts and inscription. Now our next topic is one past or many. Okay, past, as you know, past is not same for everyone, right? Even now present is not same for everyone. Past, it was different for different types of people, like lives of herders and farmers was different from kings and queens at the earlier times. Okay, so don't think, don't have a wrong impression that lives of all the people were same in the earlier times. No, the kings and queens had a different life from herders and farmers. Like for example, even today people in Andaman and Nicobar Island, they get their food by fishing, hunting and collecting forest products, while people in cities now, they depend on others for their supplies. So in the past, kings could keep the records of their battle, but ordinary people, they could not keep the records. Why? Can you tell? Yes, maybe because they were unable to read and write, correct? They were illiterate, they were uneducated, and plus maybe they may not having the different sources to write. Now this is the last topic of our lesson, that is the importance of dates. So children, you tell me the answer, are dates really important? Really? Yes. You must be saying in the class, na, teacher will scold you if you don't write the date in the index or daily, right? So what happens with these dates? If some other person, second person or we ourselves, we are going through something, and if we go through and if proper date is written, then we will come to know on which date these things have happened, on which date this particular incidence or this particular event has taken place. So dates play a major role in the history, right? So dates play important role in history, and in history dates are expressed in BC and AD. BC means before Christ and AD means after Christ, or it is also called as Anno Domini. The year before the birth of Jesus Christ is called as BC, and the year after the birth of Jesus Christ is called as AD or Anno Domini. In BC, we count backwards. For example, 99 BC will come after 100 BC. See children, remember this properly, okay? 99 BC, it will come after 100 BC. But for AD, 99 AD, it will come before 100 AD, right? So here in this lesson, in the lesson of history, we will refer to the dates going back from present using 2000 as our starting point. Okay children? So hope you understood today whatever we have learned, right? So just we will have the recapitulation of whatever we have studied today, right? So first what I have taught you? First point, it is about the lives of the people, okay, in the past, lives of early humans in the past. Then second one, we saw about the different stages of the development of human life. I have shown you the slide, how early humans, what were the stages of their development, okay. And again we have seen about the eating habits, occupation, their houses, their way of living, and some other things also we have seen, okay. And third point, what we have gone through is the development of agriculture, how actually the agriculture has developed. Like in Suleiman and Kartik, first wheat and barley was introduced, and again in Vindhyas rice was introduced, okay. So this is how agriculture slowly it started developing. Now next one, we have seen about the development of cities, how some important cities evolved, how they came into existence, like Harappan city, Mohenjo-Daro, and many cities, how they came into develop, okay, how they developed. And again we saw the various sources of history. Can you tell me what are the various three sources of history that we have learned? Yes, they are manuscript, inscription, and last one, come on tell. Yes, it is archaeological sites. Understood? And one more part which we have seen today is about the importance of dates in the history, how dates play a very important role, how they play a very important role in history. Like I have told you about AD and BC. BC means before Christ and AD means Anno Domini, okay. Means before Christ means the year before the Lord Jesus was born, and AD means after Jesus Christ's birth. So this is how today's lesson we have learned so many things, so all these things in our today's lesson. Okay children, so hope you all understood this lesson, correct? Have you understood or not? Yes. So now you will go through the maps, okay? Maps given on page number 2. You open the map of page number 2 and there you mark the important places like rivers. Indus River I have told about, Ganga River, Indus River, then Suleiman, Kirtar, Vindhyas, Garo Hills. All these places you have to look at the map and you have to locate this particular things on the map of India. Okay. So hope you all understood this lesson very well. Now few questions I am going to ask just to see really you have understood or not. Okay. So just open, match the pairs of your lesson. Come on children, open, match the pairs of your lesson. Okay children, now just we will have the recapitulation of whatever we have studied in this lesson. Okay. So first of all, I have shown you the clips, right, of the modern man and the early humans. So this enables us to find out the lives of people in the past. So in this lesson, we have seen how the lives of the people was there in the past, what they ate, what were their living habits. Okay. Then we have seen about the stages of development of the human life. I have shown you in the slide, there was a clip, okay, different stages of early humans. So in that we have seen how human life has evolved, okay. And again we have seen their eating habits, their occupations, the houses they live, what type of agriculture they started doing, cultivating. Then next, how we have learnt about the agricultural development, how this early humans, how they slowly and gradually came for came for the cultivation of agriculture, okay, how they started developing the agriculture. Actually before that they were just hunters, okay, but afterwards slowly they started developing the agriculture. And as we saw how wheat and barley was first introduced in Suleiman and Kartik, and again rice was introduced in Vindhyas, okay. Then we have seen the development of cities, some very important cities like Magad, Harappa and Mohenjo-Daro, how they flourished during this period. And again what you have studied? We have studied about the main important thing, that is the various sources of history. What are the sources of history? Come on, tell. Yes, first one is manuscript, second one is, right, come on, just remember, try to recollect. Yes, inscription. And third one, archaeological sites. So manuscripts means writing on the palm, right, or on the bark of the tree which was called as birch. And second one, inscription means writing on a hard surface like stones, metals, walls, pillars, etc. And third one was some archaeological sites like pots, pans, etc. Even dead bodies, remains of buildings, dead bodies, okay. So these were the different sources of history that we have studied today. And one more important topic which we have covered is about the importance of dates in history. Why date is so much important in history, okay. About I have told you, discussed with you about the BC and AD. So these are the few important topics which we have covered today, right. So just I will ask you a few questions, okay. You have to tell me the answer, right. So just open the page 9 in your textbook. Come on children, open. So there match the following is there. Come on, okay. Can you see match the following on page 9? So first one is Narmada Valley. So what is the answer of Narmada Valley? Come on, tell fast. Yes, hunting and gathering. So Narmada Valley you will match with hunting and gathering. Second one, Magad. Magad, it was the first big kingdom that emerged. Third one, Garo Hills. Come on, tell what is the answer of Garo Hills? Yes, early agriculture. Next one, Indus and its tributaries. It is, what is the answer? It is, they are the cities about 2500 years ago. And the last one is Ganga Valley. That is, the correct answer is the first cities. So this was what we have learned today, children. So at home you go through this lesson, because whatever slides I have shown, it is each and everything is same as it is covered in your textbook, okay. So read this lesson carefully and try to find out the answers of the questions given back of your lesson, so that in the next session we will go through the question answers and notes, okay. So till then, see you children, goodbye and enjoy your day, bye bye.